Welcome to Talk About here on Shaw. My name is John Twigg. Thanks for tuning in. This show is about energy. We have Earth Hour coming up and we have a big panel to talk about it. Here's Amber Zirnhelt from the city. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, thanks.
And we have Klein. You were part of the Energy Challenge.
Yes.
And then we have Jerry and Gideon Loeb, and your family was part of the Energy Challenge.
Yep, thank you.
Good. Well, we have a video about that, and it's not very long. We're going to have a look at that first.
When Campbell River wakes up, we need energy.
I'll have a fried egg.
Campbell River households use about $16 million worth of electricity and $8 million for fuels to heat and power our homes every year. Sounds huge? It is. But do we really need it all?
Get out of the shower. It's been 10 minutes.
Help us to power down Campbell River and save money with your creative ideas. Join our Campbell River Home Energy Video Challenge this April. Be one of 5 families to get a free home energy audit plus a free iPad. Capture on video how we can conserve energy. And have a chance to win the $1,500 grand prize for your personal home energy retrofit.
Mom, my t-shirt's still wet. Can you put it in the dryer?
Can't you find a dry one instead?
Apply now. Call or email Amy, our Energy Challenge Coordinator, for more information or to register. It's never been easier and more fun to make Campbell River a greener place.
$800? We have to power down.
Okay, so Earth Hour is coming up on Saturday, March 29th, and the city of Campbell River has done a lot of backroom preparations for it. And Amber, could you give us a 5-minute or less summary of a lot of work you've been doing?
Sure. So every year, the World Wildlife Fund organizes Earth Hour, which is an hour where communities across the world look at reducing energy use. So homeowners turn out the lights, unplug appliances, and globally, we try to reduce our energy use and our impact on the environment. So for the past year, we have been looking at different ways that we can encourage homeowners to reduce energy use. And one of the ways that we did this last year was by having a month-long challenge, an energy challenge where 5 families competed to reduce energy and capture the fun, the challenges, the crazy moments of it all on video. So it was kind of a reality TV style challenge. And we had some great footage, which we have incorporated into 2 different videos, one with energy saving tips and one that captures the whole challenge. And those are going live today with today's talk here on Shaw TV. And the long version will be showing at our upcoming Earth Week Film Festival in April.
Awesome. Now, I was aware that the city 2 years ago didn't do so well on Earth Hour, but last year we did pretty good. And this year we're trying to do better. Give us some background there.
Sure, yeah. So what happens around the province of BC is that BC Hydro tracks energy use during Earth Hour in communities to look at who's reducing power the most. And 2 years ago, we actually went up during Earth Hour. Campbell River actually used 1% more power than in previous years.
That might have been me.
So last year, we did a lot more outreach and provided a lot of tips to the community, and people were really creative, and we actually reduced our energy use in Campbell River by 8.1%.
That was one of the bigger ones in the province.
Yes, we actually were ranked 7th in the province. We tied with Sayward actually for reducing power among the most of communities province-wide. So we're really happy about that and really hoping to do more this year. It's a great start, and we think that the community can do even better this year.
Yeah. Well, let's talk to the families. And Eden, what's your experience with this? What did you do and how's it been?
It was a lot of fun. We were competing, so that kept us on our toes. We changed all our light bulbs in our house, and I hung everything to dry and that kind of thing, and we reduced our consumption by about 30%, and right now we're maintaining about 25%, and I'm hoping it'll go down in the summertime.
Did they give you a special meter to measure this?
Yeah, we had energy monitor, so that shows you. We have it on our counter, and we watch when the numbers are going up and stuff like that, and when they're going down, and just kind of.
What did you notice, like say the dryer versus the light bulbs or other hot water showers, stuff like that?
The showers I didn't notice as much. I did notice like the hot water tank uses a lot of energy, as well as our dryer used a lot of energy. Our light bulbs, like we had some in our bathroom that were using 160 watts every time we turned them on, and now they're less than 20 watts. So yeah, things like that make a big difference.
Did you go to chlorofluorocarbons? Or no, pardon me, that's the different issue.
Yeah. There were some that were LEDs and some that were the CFLs.
CFLs. Yeah, it is. Did you have any reservations about the toxic components of these newfangled light bulbs?
Not at all, no. I was more concerned about the energy consumption.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jerry, tell us your experience.
Well, we actually had lots of family saying, you probably won't win this because you already don't use any energy in your house. But because we already didn't use the dryer and we tried to turn off lights, we were trying to be conscientious.
So
but
hard to go down from low.
Yeah, but we did actually, we worked really hard to do things like turning off lights. And the energy monitor that we were given, you could actually go around, turn off everything in the house, turn on one appliance or one light, and it would read how much it was using.
Oh my.
So you could compare lights or compare appliances one at a time. So it was a really handy tool, and we're hoping that eventually everyone would have one in their house, because we still watch it day to day when we're cooking or when we're cleaning or anything. We look at that monitor.
Well, what did you learn? Like, is the TV a big draw?
We don't have a TV, but
how do you stay up on the news?
iPad, just go on.
You got computers?
Yeah, we do have a computer. Yeah, but actually we use the iPads rather than the big computer, because we got an iPad as part of the challenge. That was one of the drawing things that drew us in the first place.
Did you get a
Yeah, we got one too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Each of the families got one. And then basically day to day we kind of keep track as well, because you can go on My Hydro, which is a website, and see monthly, daily, even hourly how much you're using, and you can see what are high times and little things like turning off the heat when you're leaving, although we switched to wood heat anyway, so lights for sure.
Yeah. Now, your wife Jennifer was going to be here, but she couldn't because she got called away.
Yeah.
But she's the driving force in this?
She was definitely the driving force. She had some good ideas, like one of them was a bike-powered blender, which we used to make smoothies and desserts, and just used human power, no electricity, and then used it for Bike to Work Week as well.
Yeah.
And a solar oven, which you wouldn't think would work very well in April in Campbell River, but it worked great. We made several meals and even baked cookies, and you can boil water in 20 minutes with a homemade solar oven.
Only 20 minutes?
20 minutes, yep.
Did you catch the sarcasm?
Yeah.
Okay, Gideon, how do you feel about all this? I gather you were running that bike for a while.
Yeah, I think everybody's been doing a pretty good job in saving energy, and I think altogether, if we turned off our lights, we could save a lot of energy.
Yeah. How about the kids in your class? And by the way, Gideon's on what is it? The spring break today. Yeah, so he's not skipping school to be here. But yeah, what did your fellow students think about it?
They were slightly impressed that we were doing it, but they mostly enjoyed the smoothies and didn't bother about much else.
Well, that's great. Amber, is this really a big thing, or is it a novelty?
Well, I think each of our efforts to reduce energy use collectively can make a really big difference. And BC Hydro actually has released some interesting information about this. Since 2007, when they started their Power Smart programs to provide tips and information to homeowners to help them conserve energy, they have seen energy drop in household use enough that they could power up to 390,000 additional homes BC-wide. So, you know, the small efforts that we make in our own homes can really add up to make a big difference, I think.
Is it a small thing to have a short, cold shower as opposed to a nice, warm one?
Well, you can go to extremes, and some of the families did when they were competing in the energy challenge. Turn down the thermostat. I remember some of them talking about turning it down to the igloo zone and being very cold. But that is extreme, and that's fun for a challenge in a short period of time. Cold showers, are they necessary? No, not necessarily, but maybe turning down your thermostat, or maybe once in a while taking a shorter shower, or finding something that works for you in your home. Maybe being more conscientious of turning off appliances when they're not in use. I think that each homeowner can find small things that work for them, and not everything will work for everyone.
Yeah.
I like warm showers from time to time too.
Real people. Eden, what about the money aspect? What were some of the dollar numbers?
Well, you saved quite a bit. I mean, if we're down 30%, usually our bills are just over. We're in like an almost 2,000 square foot home, and it's an old house, and we were paying about $60 to $70 a month basically for our hydro. So yeah, there's four of us.
And that wouldn't be electric heat, I'm guessing.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So $60 a month?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah. Jerry, how about you?
We were about $50 a month when the energy challenge started, and by the end, we went to extremes. We actually, for the last week, turned off our main breaker and basically camped and had cold showers, and we got down to, I think, the average would have been about $17 a month, but that was not maintainable.
Yeah.
So we are now currently about $40 a month. We've dropped it down a bit, and and it does add up. You add up that month by month, and you save for sure.
Yeah. Amber, what are the benefits or the rewards that Campbell River can get if we were to, say, win the energy challenge?
Well, there's a lot of promotion for the city, so drawing attention to our community and the environmental consciousness of our community, which is great in terms of we're in a beautiful place already, a beautiful natural setting, and I think the more that people hear about Campbell River and the great things that we're doing, the better for our community, for tourism and attracting people to live here as well.
Yeah.
But in terms of environmental benefits, the 1 hour is, it's a snapshot in time, and it does make a difference. But what we see is that people tend to become a little bit more conscientious of things that they can do on a regular basis. And BC Hydro estimates that the average homeowner can reduce their energy bill quite easily by about 10% by making some small habit changes. Yeah. And so that might be something as simple as insulating their hot water tank, or if it's electric, for example, or it might be making sure that they're turning down their thermostat when they leave the house or at night. Little things like that can really add up. So I think that's an advantage. It'll save people money in the long run, like the families have experienced, and it will also be good for our environment.
But the city doesn't, say, get an extra grant from PowerSmart to reward us, or?
Not necessarily, but there is a global competition for recognizing communities for environmental efforts, and specifically energy reduction during Earth Hour. And so if we do really well this year, we might be in the running to enter that competition and be considered. And I believe there is some grant funding associated with that. BC Hydro was a sponsor of our program this past year, and the more that we can continue to reduce energy, the more likely we'll be to receive future funding from BC Hydro and other community funders.
Yeah. So if Campbell River does better than Courtney Comox, it could make a difference. It
could help us get grant funding, and it will certainly draw attention to our community that's positive.
Yeah, that's good. There's a lot of energy environment issues that we could talk about, and like I've got a little thing here, wood burning tips that the city puts out, and the recycling plan for blue boxes is a huge controversy. It's an issue that's in a way too deep to get into here, but there is a little bit in the news. The BC government put out a news release March 4th. Government funding lights up environmental upgrades in schools. And this is where the carbon tax, which Andrew Nikiforuk earlier on this show said is a badly structured tax. They're trying to fix it, I guess. But anyway, instead of taxing schools and hospitals, now they're taxing schools and hospitals and giving some of the proceeds to schools and hospitals. One of the beneficiaries is Carey High, And I think at the school district board meeting last night, as this was being taped, they were dealt with whether or not to approve it. But they're getting a $58,000 grant to separate the domestic hot water from the school's heating boiler. Now, is that kind of a thing cost effective?
Well, I'm not familiar with that particular project, but in general, the funding that the province is providing through the carbon tax back is for projects that can demonstrate that they're going to significantly reduce energy use, and then they will result in operational savings for the school. So I don't know about this particular project, but from what I've seen of the projects that do receive the funding, they're really good projects, and they really do save on operational costs. And our school district actually has been doing a phenomenal job with their energy reduction initiatives. They have an energy manager, Steve Woods, who is really a driving force behind energy retrofits and upgrades to the schools. So I imagine if he's behind this project, it's going to be a really great one.
Do we have any solar panels in our schools?
We do, yeah. And so at Timberline, at the Timberline North Island College campus, there is solar hot water on the roof there, and that was funded through grant funding, as well as some of the funds came from the students fundraising at the Earth Week Film Festival a couple of years ago. So that was some donations from our community.
Yeah. One of the things that's an issue for me is the energy use of light bulbs. And like, we have some old light fixtures that need 60-watt bulbs, and yet the government is saying, you know, they're not even going to sell them or manufacture them. Can you or one of the other people give us a rundown about the energy use of the different light bulbs?
You want to speak to that?
Well, I know for us, we found we have two different lights in our kitchen, and one's the new lights and one's the old ones, like you, with 4 or 5 big energy hog lights.
Yeah.
And we found with our monitor, you know, turn everything off, turn on this one, and it uses X cents per hour, and this one uses much less. So we just basically don't use that light fixture anymore. I guess we could try switching the light bulbs out, but we just use the other light, and it doesn't seem like much if it's 3 cents an hour difference, but over time it does add up, and so it's just a conscious decision that we do that.
Well, if you have a hall light and you leave it on at night, what would that cost? Are we talking 10 cents or $1?
I would guess 20 cents, yeah. It doesn't seem like much, but like I say, if you have several lights on and you look up over the period of a year, it does add up.
So 20 cents a night?
Yeah.
That's
That would be a
not
guess,
insignificant.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's see here. You know, there's an issue about food too, and I congratulate the city for the food map and the local sourcing and all that. But you know, the transportation to get food here from California as opposed to growing it, does that factor in? Do we get counted for that, or is that just like it's a good thing to do, but no data?
So certainly food that has to travel distances, so you're giving California as an example, that certainly has a greater environmental impact from the transportation, greenhouse gas emissions, but also in terms of freshness of the food, it takes longer to get the food from farm to plate, so it's not quite as fresh when we get it here, so it won't last as long in our grocery stores. The more that we can grow locally, the better it is for our local economy, but also for the environment and the nutrition content of their food as well. So the food map is an initiative where we're showcasing restaurants and retailers as well as local farms that are sourcing food from Campbell River and our surrounding region. And we're even going to be listing products that you can get at local retailers that are from Vancouver Island. So it's really promoting what we have here in our backyard. It's also important as we think about being an island, if we were ever cut off from the mainland from a natural disaster or some other means, we only have about a 3-day supply of food on the island overall. So the more we grow locally, the more resilient we are if there's ever a natural disaster.
Yeah. Now that in a way is the food security perspective. but there is an energy component too.
There is, oh, definitely, and that's back to the transportation and production, and then preservation of food as well.
Yeah.
So the more that we have locally, the less energy we're going to be using. You're right on with that.
Now, you put out a very good statement, which is not at my fingertips here, about all the things that are going on. Here it is, about the things that the city is doing. Is there a particular website that people should go to?
Yeah, for Earth Hour, it's great to take a look at the World Wildlife Fund website, and there's all kinds of links and ideas on there of things that you can do. So maybe it's a candlelight dinner or having friends over to play cards or a game by candlelight next Saturday. Also the City of Campbell River's website, so www.campbellriver.ca. We have a Green City section, and we have a variety of resources and tools there as well.
And okay, so just campbellriver.ca, and then you can find stuff.
Yeah, and I'd also encourage people to take a look at the Sustainable Campbell River Facebook page. We keep it up to date with the newest green initiatives happening in the community, and it's a great tool as well.
Good. Now, one of the statements that I saw from the city, 67% of Campbell River's greenhouse gases in 2006 were from transportation. Then I think you said in here somewhere 23% is related to energy consumption in buildings.
Yeah, that's right.
So add those up and that's 90%.
The rest comes from solid waste. So that's associated with methane gas that's actually released from decomposing material in the landfill.
Yeah.
And those numbers are generated by the province of BC. So every community in BC receives some statistics every couple of years. They're provided by the province. And they give us a snapshot of how our community is doing related to energy use and greenhouse gas emissions. Campbell River is one of the signatories to the BC Climate Action Charter, and as a requirement of that provincial document and work, we are committed to reducing our greenhouse gas emissions locally. So these statistics help us figure out where to focus our efforts.
When I saw that 23 and 67 numbers, I thought, oh, okay, those are just guesstimates. But before we were on air here, you were telling me that actually there is a pretty big database.
Yeah, the province of BC has a whole team doing analysis for the energy and emissions inventories, and the energy use, for example, in buildings is calculated based on BC Hydro and Fortis BC data for the community as a whole. So real numbers are put into coming up with the energy use here in Campbell River, and also propane and wood heating are all looked at as well.
Yeah.
And then in terms of transportation, that's based on data from ICBC with averages. So the province gets average information from the types of vehicles on the road here in Campbell River and the mileage.
Okay. Eden, I think we're just about out of time, but is there something you want to add, or an aspect that I've missed?
No, I think, it's a lot of habit changing that helps you to sort of save energy. So, thinking before you act, sort of, and that'll help you save energy in the long run.
Jerry, any thoughts you want to add?
Well, one more thing that we got offered to us for free as part of being part of the Energy Challenge was an energy audit. And we had someone come in and seal off everything and force air into the house, and that was really valuable to us because we found out which windows, we had a chimney that wasn't capped, and the hot air was just being sucked out of our house.
So that was free to you, but if somebody was going to do it,
I would recommend it. I'm not sure how much it would cost for an average citizen to do.
Do you know?
Yeah, so we offered an energy audit program last year, and the energy audits were free of charge to the first 115 families. But right now, if you're looking to do that on your own for your own home, it's about $150 to have an energy advisor come in.
Yeah. Gideon, do you want to add something?
No, thanks.
No? Okay, I thought you would whispering in your dad's ear. Well, thank you all for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
best
us.
wishes, Campbell River. The Earth Hour Challenge is Saturday, March the 29th. Was it 9 p.m.?
8:30 to 9:30 p.m.
8:30 to 9:30. So, yeah, I hope there's not a hockey game on then. I guess the Canucks might not be in the playoffs by then. But anyway, well, there we go. There's another Talk About here on Shaw. Thanks for watching. Tell a friend. We're on YouTube too. So thank you, guests. Thank you, volunteers. thank you, Chaz and Gord, for producing the show, and Marjorie, and we'll see you again.
Why do you suppose it's important to celebrate Earth Hour?
It's a bit of an eye-opener as to how much energy we're using and what we're using it on and how much we use it with the lights, the electronics, and TV, computers, and laptops. It's kind of unnecessary to use them all at once. And if we shut everything down for an hour, kind of have nothing, with a bunch of power to use to entertain ourselves. But I mean, you can go outside and entertain yourself.
Why is it important to you?
Because Earth Hour is just basically celebrating the nature of things, and if we don't have our nature and our planet and our trees and wildlife, we won't have nothing left except for just basically water, dust, and earth.
Very, very concerned about the oil sands, and I certainly spend too much time worrying about maybe the environment, because there's not a lot you could do. I figure you could do one or two things, so if you really put your energy into it, that's better than spreading yourself too thin. But it is difficult.